Welcome to Sober.Coffee, a weekly coffee chat sharing experience, strength, and hope for anyone on the sober road to recovery. You can download Sober.Coffee weekly on all podcast platforms and check us out on Instagram at Sober.Coffee Podcast and on Twitter at Sober.Coffee Pod. To learn more about us and to help support these sessions, visit online at Sober.Coffee. Here are your hosts, two guys on their own path to recovery, Mike and Glenn. Let's join them at the coffee shop.
Good morning, Glenn.
Hey, Mikey, how are you this morning?
Buddy, I'm ready for school today.
Oh, I love it, man. I love school. What grade?
PhD
level, or were you in kindergarten?
Let's put it back at about first grade, yeah.
Oh, I love first grade.
Yeah.
My first grade teacher, Miss Smeeter, man, I got off to a great start.
Yeah. And Mrs. K, she had a soft place in her heart for me, I'm sure. So anyway, yeah, I did a little homework last night.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, so we have like flip charts? Do we have PowerPoints? What do you have? Excel spreadsheets?
Death
or
by
what?
PowerPoint. Here we go.
Oh, geez.
No, it's just this topic.
Bring it out.
You said you brought this topic up, and it hit me. It was like a fresh wound, and that is, I'm done drinking. Now what? What do I do with that time? I mean, for me, as people know my story, I mean, everything evolved. Alcohol evolved around everything evolved around alcohol, and it was all part of my life. I would take out chunks of the day that were devoted to nothing but drink.
Like 45 minutes, like an hour,
no, like half
12?
my waking hours.
Oh, geez.
So right. And
well, I can certainly relate to that.
Yeah, and I think even if somebody who is just weekend binging but they're new to sobriety and they say, how am I going to fill that gap? What am I going to do when I'm not drinking? How am I going to survive it? I remember a guy coming in just a couple of months ago, and he said, I don't know how I'm going to live. I don't know how I'm going to go to concerts, how I'm going to go golf, how I'm going to go camping, how I'm going to go fishing. I don't know what I'm going to do. And, I did a little preparation for today and kind of took some of the notes that I've taken over the past couple of years. And yeah, I think you could fill the gap in a healthy way, and that's what I hope to pass on today.
That's a great topic to kick around. So we're going basic level, right? So let's just call it, Sober 101.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we have we love connecting with folks that are listeners. Some of them are early on the sober path. So let's just call it Sober 101.
Sober 101.
And there's been a couple people, our email for our show is podcast@sober.coffee. A couple of people have reached out while they're still drinking, right?
Sure.
So let me jump in real quick before we explore this with some medical disclosures.
Yeah, good idea.
Sober 101 medical disclosures.
Good idea, right.
There are risks, or there can be risks, if you're a heavy drinker and you stop drinking cold turkey. There can be medical risks or repercussions for doing that. So please, if you're in that situation where you're like, hey, I'm listening to these guys, okay, I want to quit. Right? And you're drinking a handle a day.
Yeah.
And then you quit tomorrow. Right. You're whatever shape you're in, just make sure that, you quit safely. Right. Medically safely, because there can be some serious repercussions. I've done it. So just a little sidebar, get some help, right? Reach out to a medical professional to say, hey, I've been drinking a lot. I want to quit. Help me.
Right. No, that's great. That's great advice. And, on the website and at the end of our shows as well, we have some phone numbers that you can call. If you're in a spot, in a pickle, use those numbers as well.
Yeah, we are not medical professionals.
No, we're not.
All we're doing is sharing our path, and both of us have reached out to medical professionals.
Absolutely. So, positively part of my story.
Awesome. So now I quit. Now what?
Yeah, so, I think, first of all, I think backing up to, 4 reasons that people use alcohol. Number one reason, according to a website I found, was to cope with stress, right? So, that could be a moderate to severe user could do that as a social lubricant, right? So a social drinker might do that, a moderate drinker, an alcoholic, just a social, I'm funnier. I look better when I drink, right? to simply pass the time, right? And then it becomes, and there's the habit drinker, right?
Right.
Which is where I was. So the only reason I bring those up is because as we move forward, and I've got about 10 or 12 suggestions on how you can fill the gap. I did a little bit.
I love it.
So I'll jump right into them.
Yep.
And I've said this before on another segment, but the first thing is, now that I'm not drinking alcohol, I need to replace that physical habit with something. And I found it very important and very beneficial to me to replace my alcohol liquid consumption with something. And so what I do is coffee is my go-to, right? But I have a cup of coffee in my hand. So this isn't going to help me on the golf course where I'd have a bottle of water. So either coffee or water I've got in my hand all the time. That's number one. Number two is and the most important one for me, was my go-to, is pour myself, not another drink, but pour myself into the program of recovery, right? So that means go to meetings, plug into the community, do the readings. There's so much great information online, offline. Read. That takes time where I would have been sitting around drinking. Now I'm reading about recovery. And then we'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute, service.
Right. So I love that. So, an immediate kind of way to relate is you just said you were spending kind of half your waking hours, right? So what I've heard, at least initially, this works, right? Because if you're spending 10 hours a day drinking, right, and you are consumed with drinking, and now all of a sudden you take that out,
sure,
and now you're sitting there saying, now what, right?
Now what?
So, one of the things that just to underline the second point is spend as much time focused on recovery as you were drinking.
Oh my goodness, I'm having a hard time figuring out what the line to failure is. If I invest, and I know I've invested 10 hours of my waking time into early in my sobriety, I invested that amount of time into my recovery.
Right, but I think that's an immediate solution.
Sure.
I quit today. What am I going to do today? I'm going to go to 3 meetings today. I'm going to go to 5 meetings today. I'm going to go to Zoom. I'm going to read this today. I'm going to jump in, right?
That's right.
I think longer term,
that's right.
That's not the right answer.
No.
Because it's not balanced.
It's not balanced and you can't keep up with it. So point
But I know people who dive into recovery so much, they're still ignoring, after 2 years,
right?
They're still ignoring their family.
Yep.
They're still doing a half-assed job at work, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And their life is still out of balance. That's not what the program's about. But I think, to really hit this second point, I think in the immediate,
that's your focus.
90 meetings, 90 days. Go to 3 meetings a day if you have to,
right? Because
you're going to have blocks of time that you're going to have nothing to do.
That's right. But and as you balance off, point number 3, I'm sorry, is start an exercise routine.
Scratch that.
I know, right?
Hey,
listen.
Hey, here's a pen. Put a line right through that.
I know you need to walk before you run, but you can crawl before you walk.
No, you have to get off the couch before you walk.
Can I give you a hint though? And I actually got this from you.
You didn't get anything related to exercise from me.
Yes, I did. Get an exercise buddy. Get a walking buddy.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it changes the dynamic. Me walking out my door at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's absolute accountability. They plan on you being there. You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone if you're talking about recovery as you're walking. And again, you don't wake up one day and go run a 10K, but you wake up one day and walk around the block. Just walk around the block. Maybe that's the thing for you.
Exercise, I have read, not experienced, I have read that exercise has so many benefits to your physical health, your mental health. It creates endorphins and dopamine and blah, blah, all that mental stuff.
3 things that I found in preparation for this morning: improved mood, higher self-esteem, and overall stress relief.
Nice. Wait, so that's 3 bullet points after bullet point number 3 of 12, right?
Yeah, how are we doing on that PowerPoint?
Hey, let me tell you something.
There's going to be a quiz.
Let me tell you, I still have a life-threatening allergy to exercise. I don't care what you say.
All right, good. How about this one then?
Yep.
Number 4, take music lessons, or at least organize and spend time with your music. How does that sound? Invest it. For me,
music's a wonderful thing.
Music's a wonderful thing. It mellows me. It motivates me. It depends. Meditation. Spend time. I mean, how many of us as children thought we'd like to play an instrument, and then life got in the way? Mm-hmm. Well, now I've got this 10 hours a day that I used to be just wasting. Mm-hmm. So if I spend a couple hours a week learning how to play the guitar, the drums, the clarinet, not a bad idea. And again, this could be done with somebody. You can get involved in a music class. Just a thought. Research shows that improves mental health, promotes cognitive function, and fosters connection with others.
Oh, nice. So I think I told you that one of my goals for 2022 is to learn how to play the guitar.
I did not know this.
You didn't know that? I didn't tell you?
No.
Oh, yeah. So our technical barista, Brian,
yes,
at Audio Hive, mm-hmm. I think he plays in a band called Megadeth or something, but he's a musician. He works at a guitar store, and that got me thinking. I'm like, man, I've always wanted to do that.
Sure.
So I'm going to do it.
So do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
So that's number 4.
All right, number 5. Get a massage. Okay, I know, right?
Daily, right? Do I need to get one daily?
Well, and the first thing that came to my mind when I spotted this one and wrote it down is, okay,
those roadside massage parlors. Don't go there.
No, don't go there. Don't go there. We definitely don't go there.
Right.
But now you're talking about something that's got a little cost involved to it, and I could just see like me cringing. So I can't afford 2 massages a week or 1 massage a week. Wait a minute, I bought a bottle a day. I can certainly afford now some luxuries in life that I didn't have, that I was investing in Captain Morgan. So,
but to figure out, right?
But here's the thing. You could do DIY. If you are married or have a life partner, mm-hmm. You can trade off giving massages.
That's fantastic.
Right? So it can become a group
event.
I'm
not going to give you one, Mikey.
Oh, not today. Okay.
Not today.
All right. Number 6, mind exercises. Okay, things like puzzles. We got a guy in the program who has embraced model building, right? So he gets like 1,000-piece model, and he's reproducing replicas of trucks and cars, and and it's great. It's again helps your cognitive skills, takes your mind out of your own problems. Not a bad thing to do. Mind exercises. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's great. In fact, I use this. In fact, I'm trying to pull it up. Daily, and this has really helped me. Mm-hmm. Every day, I use this little app called Block-U-Doku.
Hello.
It's Block-U-Doku.
Okay.
And it's like a little puzzle. It's a little puzzle. It's like a Tetris type puzzle, and it has a daily one. And I have done it every single day for 2 years, and it wakes my brain up in the morning.
How long do you play?
4 minutes,
okay.
6 minutes, but it gets my mind in gear. It says, hey, It's time to go. I love mind exercises.
All right, excellent. Good segue. Number 7, read or audio. And my preference is nonfiction, right? So, and again, you could do this with people, but there's so much good reading. Obviously, my number 1 recommendation would be Alcoholics Anonymous, mm-hmm. Big Book, 12 and 12. If you're spiritual, there's a book that has sold a couple of copies called the Bible. And then there's great recovery books in general. I mean, A Million Little Pieces, Beautiful Boy, Being Sober, Chasing the High, Drop the Rock. I mean, there's a million books that you could read or listen to that'll expand your horizon and give you a better understanding of this world that we live in, which is a world of recovery.
Yeah, and I've read something recently, something like this guy, Warren Buffett, he reads 6 hours a day. And it's just amazing. But they say, hey, if you want to really improve your life, become
mm-hmm.
a reader.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that one.
Yeah. So, and again, this could be a group one. You and I could say, all right, let's read Drop the Rock.
Yep.
And why don't we get together for a couple coffees over the course of the next month, 4 coffees. Let's just knock this book out and talk about it. Right. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Number 8, meditation. Boy, this one's
called nap time, right?
No. You got to be awake for meditation.
Yeah.
You could drift off if you'd like after you've. But this is one of the easiest things you could do to feel calmer right now. So, in these voids where you're bouncing around saying, what am I going to do with my time? What am I going to do? I'd be drinking now. What am I going to do? Take a pause and just meditate. Just meditate. It reduces anxiety. It's the mindfulness-based therapy is proved effective even as an antidepressant. I mean, it's just find a way. You could either do guided meditation or just meditate to some music.
I love guided meditation. And hey, if you need places for meditation, go to YouTube. Right. And search guided meditation.
There you go.
And it's spiritual. You can go to a beach somewhere. You can go cabin in the snow. You can go anywhere. Guided meditation. It's amazing how that works.
How often do you invest in meditation per week?
I invest every single day.
Yes.
From as little as 15 minutes to 45.
Okay, fantastic. That's awesome.
Because for me, it's not just quiet time. It's not just, for me, it's my opportunity to hear back from my higher power, from the universe, whatever you want to say. But, I think people talk about prayer, but the way they describe it, prayer is one way, right? I'm giving it out there. I'm speaking. But for me, meditation is a quiet time, and it allows things to resonate with inside me, and I really love that.
Awesome. Number 9, gratitude journaling. Hard pressed to be grateful and resentful at the same time. It's just really hard to do that.
That's the same way. It's hard to be pissed off at somebody and serving them coffee at the same time.
I know, right?
It's really hard.
So,
I love that, man.
If you're skeptical of meditation, and it's not a good match, just try the journaling instead. Gratitude, again, is proven to lower stress levels, and depression improves in sleep, reduction in materialism, and believe it or not, improves your cardiac health. It affects your blood pressure. It affects a lot of things. Gratitude journaling is
so
a big one.
I have a lot of gratitude. I recognize, I'm very much aware. I don't really write it down. So that's something I need to think about. I think I'm going to
get a spiral.
Yeah,
just get a spiral.
Exactly. Yep. Dude, I got so many spirals, but I think it's worthy to add one more.
But you have a spiral problem?
I might have. I've never heard of that, but I might. That's awesome.
All right. Second to last is write. So this is taking journaling to the next step, but begin to write. I mean, I run into so many people who go, yeah, I always wanted to write a book, or I want to write, about my life story. Everyone thinks their life story. Well, their life story probably does have value to somebody else. But like with anything else, just like with the exercise, you don't start with a 10K. Don't start to write a book. But start with your story and just write a sentence, and then expand that to a paragraph, and then expand that to a page, and then to a chapter. I mean, it's therapeutic. It's, to me, I love writing. I just love writing because it gets the thoughts out of my head and puts them in some proper perspective on a piece of paper. Does that make any sense?
Totally. And I love what you said. It doesn't need to be a book, right? Let's not go to Mount Everest, right? And climb Mount Everest. Let's start small. People are doing this blogging stuff, right? And it's just snippets. It could be a couple paragraphs here, a couple paragraphs here. Just a journal of thoughts.
That's right.
Maybe it's, maybe you killed 2 birds with one stone. Maybe it's a gratitude blog.
Oh, great. There you go. I love it.
Step aside.
All right. Number 11, put together a wish list and that you want to get to, right? So this could be...
So my wife calls that my to-do list.
Yeah, right. But this could be things like...
Is that the same thing?
Like just put it on the like sunrise and sunsets, right? So I'm gonna on my to-do list, I'm going to go watch for the sunrise today. I'm going to take a sunrise walk or a sunset pause and just let the day go through. Or go to some cultural restaurants, things that, that you wouldn't typically or hadn't done in the past.
Expand your horizons.
Right. Absolutely.
So can I tell you what's on my wish list?
Yes.
Just added it recently, and I'm getting obsessive about it. But I love skiing, right?
Yeah,
I've gone skiing 4 times here in 2021, 2022. I got my game plan together. But I really want to start cross-country skiing. And I always thought it was like super weird, and you get in those little tracks, and there's real skinny skis, right? And you got to be skinny. And as soon as we figure out this Instagram Live, we're going to see that I'm not skinny, right? But now they've got these like backcountry skis, that are thicker, that you go just off trail, right? And I got a lot of off trail stuff around me, so I'm going to tie that number 11 in with number 3, and then.
All right, you ready? I got 2.
And then we're journal about it.
I got 12 and 13. You ready? Number 12, volunteer.
Some would call that service.
Someone called service, but boy, there's opportunities at nursing homes. There's opportunities at vet hospitals, children's hospitals, thrift stores, food pantries, and not to mention helping another struggling alcoholic on their path to recovery. Yep. That's it. I only got one more. You ready for it?
Well, hey,
go ahead.
We can't glance off that one. I feel, and I know we've talked about this a lot, that number 12, volunteer and service, is the secret to life.
Yes, it's the secret sauce.
So it's one of the
it's
one of the 12, one of the 13 , but I think it's one of the
absolutely.
It's a lot more important than exercise.
That's right. There you go. Justification.
Totally.
Right, if all else fails, start a podcast.
Oh my gosh,
that's all I got.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, man. That's quite a list. So I quit drinking. Now what? It was real interesting when I had in September 2014 when I surrendered. I can remember the head of the center. We were talking one-on-one, and I said, "Man, I have no idea what to do. I got all this." And one of the things I said, I got all this time, and he said, "Glenn," he said, "you have the opportunity to create a whole new life for yourself."
Very wise.
Just because what you've done in the past doesn't mean you have to do it tomorrow. You can take this opportunity, because at the time I was, getting into a 4-month program. I didn't really know it was going to be 4 months at that time. But he said, hey, you can create a whole new person, because you got, who knows how much longer we have to live. But at the time he says, you got 30 years left. Right. And boy, that's amazing. And some of those things that you listed, man, are really an opportunity to start fresh.
In my experience, I used to pass out exhausted from nothing
at 3 p.m.
At 3 p.m. Now, my head hits that pillow at 10 o'clock. I feel fulfilled, exhausted, but in a healthy way. So it's doable. These were just some ideas to fill the time, just so that for those coming into the rooms going, what am I going to do? Look, there's a million things you can do that you get to do once you're sober. So keep at it.
That's awesome, man. I love hitting the coffee shop with you. I like that number 13, doing a podcast.
Sounds great.
It. All right. See you, brother.
All right, bye.
Thanks for joining us for today's coffee chat. To contact the show, email us at podcast@Sober.Coffee. If you need immediate help, the AA hotline is 800-839-1686. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 800-273-8255. Remember, Mike and Glenn are sharing their own journey on the path to recovery. Any suggestions, medical or otherwise, are their own experiences and should not be viewed as professional advice. See you next week, and remember, there is a solution.